we brought the chair. So that means get comfortable. It's time for an update. So I know I said I was house hunting, and I still am, but things have been happening that have just been pulling me towards renting for now instead in a different apartment. So you guys know I want to move, obviously. That's why I've been house hunting. But I want to move now, and work is dictating that a bit, which stay tuned for that in a second. So I think I'm just gonna switch gears for a minute. I'm just taking my foot off the gas with house hunting. I'm not stopping. I am going to keep looking, and I am going to do property analyses and put those up. I'm sorry, I've been a little MIA lately, but personal life has taken a front seat. We good now? So I've just decided to maybe look for a rental for the moment, just to get out of the one that I'm currently in, my 2 years. Not that I signed an additional lease, but it'll be 2 years in November. So I don't know, it just feels like the right time. I just feel stale too. I like to uproot my whole life every 5 to 7 years at the longest. And it just feels like that time. And, you know, you guys know my social life has also been pulling me south a bit to southern New England for music and camping and all sorts of things this summer. So now that work is also pulling me in that same direction, I have a little bit better of a sense where to even keep looking for a home, both to purchase and a rental. So I think for the immediate, I am going to find a different rental and then continue the house hunt when I'm down actually in the area of where it makes more sense to be looking financially. So it all kind of makes sense, at least in my mind, and that's what matters. So I am just going to pivot to looking for a rental for the moment. As far as work goes, it's been 7 months, actually, just a couple days ago, that I've been at this new job, and it's been really slow getting me work just because they did so many new hires at once and they didn't have enough work to go around. But now there's a couple projects that have come in. I do environmental consulting, by the way. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that, but that's what I do. So I work for a global environmental consulting firm, and I'm one of the less than a handful of people in the United States in our company that has offshore commercial vessel experience. And so they want to throw me in a couple of those projects that both kind of are starting in October, and one happens to be out of Massachusetts and the other is off of Rhode Island. So I will be an offshore environmental monitor for one's a decommissioning of a gas pipeline offshore, and the other one is installation and construction of an offshore wind farm, which is pretty cool. So basically it's just I'd be out there making sure they're following their environmental permit regulations. And I'm also going to be a protected species observer, so I'm watching for protected species that might be in the area. Things I'm qualified for based on the degree I spent so much money on, so that's kind of cool. I knew someday, one day, it would come full circle, and so I'm really pumped because I'm nervous because I do get seasick. I think I've told you guys I've worked as a fisheries observer in the past, where I worked on commercial fishing vessels offshore, and I got really seasick, but I made it work, and it was such a nightmare. But this will be different. This is not fishing, not moving around, certainly not going to be out there doing anything in even remotely bad weather. So it's going to be a whole different ballgame, and these are like huge ships, and the wind farm's like an offshore platform, so it's not exactly moving. So I think it'll be fine. I'm gonna give it a go. It's just cool that, I don't know, it feels nice to have my experience be something that's like pretty niche. Finally, 38 years old, but hey, better late than never. So I'm just gonna take advantage. And those are like big projects. As long as I do enjoy the work and I'm not getting sick out there. My new supervisor is all about like, don't do anything unless you really enjoy it. Don't wake up Monday and say, fuck, it's Monday. And I was like, okay. So he's got my back, and I love that, and it really makes me appreciate this company as a whole, especially my supervisor, after the last job experience. So I'm happy, and we're gonna see how it goes. I think it's gonna go pretty well, but those are like long-term projects, multi-year projects. So it doesn't hurt to at least get in the area, start my house hack journey in the area that I'm gonna be in for a little bit, and who knows where that's gonna take me, but it just feels like the next step for the next phase, and then just get there and then let life play out. But I feel like I'm at that point where I need to make the change, so I'm gonna do that. And I think, yeah, I'm definitely gonna look for a rental for now. In fact, I have a showing this weekend. Hopefully it goes well. I don't know, we'll see. The good thing is rent's cheaper down there, but for most of them that I've seen, the tenant pays all the utilities, so it could be pretty comparable month to month, expense-wise, which is totally fine. And it would change my state income tax situation, like I've brought up before. Right now I don't pay new state taxes because New Hampshire does not require them. But moving to either Mass or Rhode Island, I would be paying state taxes. So that impacts my income a little bit, but nothing I can't work with, I guess, especially since I don't really know how the pay structure is going to work, but these are like 12-hour days offshore. One of the projects, I definitely know it's like an 8 to 9 day deployment. So I'm out there around the clock, but only working for 12 hours. But they have to pay me in some way, which I'm guessing is a per diem. Obviously, I'll find out more as the time comes, but that could be like pretty big extra money. So that would be nice. And even on the other project, they're also 12-hour days, but I think they're chunks of 3. I don't know. I got questions. That project is still very new, so I've got questions about it, but I'm going to be doing both projects, so I'm going to be at sea all the time, which is also going to impact my upload schedule. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do Transfer Tuesdays every week, and that makes me sad because they are definitely a habit now. Even on days where I'm feeling complete shit, Transfer Tuesdays is on weeks where I don't feel like doing anything. Transfer Tuesdays are still a non-negotiable, so those always happen. But now I don't know if they'll be able to necessarily on Tuesdays, obviously, if I'm gone for the whole week. And yeah, so that could be changing, but whatever. It's still going to be new, interesting things to share with you guys, and it's definitely going to be changing my finances however it shakes out. So that's kind of cool stuff to share. Oh, student loan update. I logged in today. I hadn't logged into Mohila for like a week just because I was irritated with them, but I logged in today and they actually went back and fixed that interest-only payment that I did of the $7,022. It's officially showing in my account as 100% applied to interest. So they did eventually fix it, which is nice. I'm so interested to see what shakes out with this save program interest situation, because you guys are amazing with the comments and the info and all the rules and regulations, just because I don't know them, and wasn't necessarily paying attention to them beyond the whole no compounding accruing interest bit, because that was really the only pertinent thing to me. But obviously there's tons of other things encompassed in the SAVE program, so I appreciate you guys and all your comments and input and info about that. I'm really interested to see what happens with the interest at the end of the month, and then certainly what happens with it next month. I do now have a payment alert in my account that my payment is going to be coming up on October 9th, which I'm on auto debit. I'm ready, we know, but it's getting real now. And now there's a boat. And about the bumper, I'm just irritated with the situation and frustrated. So I come off as like really pissed off about it, but whatever. I'm not. It's fine. I'll make a sinking fund, or I'll save for a new bumper someday. I'll call around. I'll find a deal. It's not a big deal. It didn't even crush it, or like it cracked it, but they're so flexible nowadays. It just, whatever. I mean, and of course there's missing paint where his license plate hit, but it's not that big of a deal. I was just being whiny and irritated because it was just such a shit. I love my car so much. That's okay. We'll fix her someday. It's just not a priority at the moment. I guess that's all I really had for updates. I don't know. And I know people are gonna be like, what's wrong with you? Why are you, if you're gonna keep renting, just stay, because it's expensive to move. I get it, I know. Trust me, I've done it enough. And I will be hiring professional movers this time because, I don't know where I'm going, but it doesn't matter. I will be hiring that shit out because I just don't even have a friend base here in New Hampshire anymore. It's really ask, and as embarrassing as that is, you know, my family doesn't live here anymore, and so I'm not gonna do it by myself. So I'm gonna have to save up for that. Actually, that's probably the next thing I should save for after I fill up the annual expenses fund back up, which should be, well, next paycheck. September is one of those magical 3 paycheck months, so I could also set some of that aside probably for moving expenses too. And I'm gonna need, you know, first last security deposit for a new apartment. So yeah, moving is expensive, but it's time. I feel stale here. I don't like it. I'm feeling unmotivated. I understand this isn't how everyone feels, but it weighs on me mentally when I'm feeling stuck. It's like the worst feeling in the world to me. Probably why I'm still flying solo at 38, but that's okay. I don't know. I'll settle down eventually. I just don't feel ready yet. I'm not there yet. Time to uproot and move along. See where we end up. I don't know, but I'm excited. And I know I've mentioned it before, but just going to repeat. I'm going to start sharing more everyday content, like, I don't know, updates like this instead of just finance things. I obviously always gonna have financial components to everything on this channel. That's what we're here for. But I'm gonna start putting more personal content in, and I know I've said that. I'm just reiterating because I feel like I need to for some reason. Not that I ever need to do anything, but because it's my channel, but just putting it out there since obviously most of you came to this channel based on my very strict, like, weekly videos and monthly budgets and, you know, quarterly finance updates and yearly finance updates. And I will definitely still always do finance updates, but also more personal stuff. So I'm sorry if I led you on. It's what I feel like, that's what I'm having to explain, is I feel like I lured your hair under false pretenses, and I'm sorry. That was obviously not what I meant to do. That was just the past phase of life. Now we're in this phase where we're sharing it all. So I would love to have you stay if you would like, but you know, I understand if you're not here for the other personal bits. You just want finances. I'm here to find my tribe, so I am putting more me out there. Gonna go ahead and tank the algorithm because I don't care. I'm not here for that. It's whatever. That's all though. That's enough. The geese are telling me it's time to go home. I don't know if you can hear them, but it's so beautiful out here. I will miss this spot, and I will miss my apartment. I wish I could take my actual apartment with me, but I didn't love my apartment at first either. It's like, you know, the home you make it to be, right? So I'm trying to keep that in mind because I am a little bit sad about that, but I think that's natural. But it will be cool if maybe I could find something with some outdoor space. You guys know I need that. I hate that I have to drive here every day. It's 5 miles. Like, I cannot believe I have to drive here. Shut up, Rachel. What? Anyway, I'm done babbling. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for whatever comes next.